I am forever torn. Always been torn between here and there. And I don't know if I would give it up, because I don't want to be in the small town that I grew up in, or in the place where I come from necessarily. But I also don't want to be torn all the time. There are advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes I wish I had family that I could just drive to. You know, there's that part of me that wishes I had family close by, and I find myself envious of people sometimes. Say they're going home for the holidays, or I go back quite a bit. I'm from Germany, and I go back quite a bit. And at first I had lots of friends still that I would want to see and hang out and party. But as the years went on and my life experience became more diverse, I couldn't relate to them anymore because they didn't grow at the same rate or in the same way I did. They stayed in the town and things kept repeating for them. And it's nothing bad about it, but it was really difficult for me to relate. And it was difficult for them to relate to me. Everything I said became this, wow. But it was just my life. It wasn't anything I thought was so outrageous or amazing. I mean, I'm in Ferndale, which is great, but it's just my life, right? To them it felt like I'm in America, I'm doing this and that, and that's where Brad Pitt is from. I do feel that my experience and what I've learned have become too big for the town where I come from, and I wouldn't fit there anymore. I don't think I would be happy there anymore. I kind of wish I could be. I miss the connection, absolutely, but I also am glad that I broke away from it, because I have a life here now. So I assume if I moved back, I would be torn about wanting to be back here. I came as an au pair, where I stayed with a family and took care of their kids. I had been in America for 2 days, maybe, 1 day, 2 days. I was in New York in a hotel, and all the kids that came with me went on a tour. And they all went on a tour, and I wasn't going to go on a tour. I wanted to explore New York on my own. And so I just started walking, and there was this guy kind of standing in the alley with a really cool hat on. And I'm like, hey, where did you get this hat? And he's like, you can buy it. And I'm like, okay. And I bought this hat off of him. I gave him $20, and it was fine. But again, in hindsight, I'm thinking, maybe that was a bit dangerous, naive, stupid. But I love it because I still had that naivete, that youth, that fearlessness that I came with. I've gone out west a lot, camping. I love that. The diversity, the multicultural mix of people that I encounter in big cities, I love. It stops the minute I leave the big city, which is a very interesting thing about this country. There's no more people of color, no more diversity. And that's when I know I'm not in the city anymore. It's really interesting because aside from being an immigrant, I'm also a black person in this country. And I believe I'm thrown in that pot until I speak. And then people realize, wait a minute, where do we stick her now? It doesn't impact me greatly physically, but I'm aware of it. I become very aware of my surroundings and look around to see if I'm okay. How are people reacting to me? How are they looking at me? Are they smiling? Are they not? There was this one time in North Carolina, we stopped at a gas station way out, and there was a guy with a pickup truck and a Confederate flag. And I didn't dare to leave my husband's side because it was just scary in that moment. Europe in this country is loved and revered and gets a lot of respect. I feel as a German immigrant, I don't have the same disadvantages as an immigrant maybe from Mexico or the Middle East or Afghanistan or these countries that, you know, some Americans just don't like. So I don't have that, but I still struggle with this idea that I am not an American by birth, in that I have different cultures and different viewpoints and perspectives and traditions and foods and everything. It's that lack of community, that lack of where do I belong, you know? I often feel like an oddball until I go back home and then I realize, wait a minute, I'm not an oddball. There's a whole nation that thinks like me or does things like me. It's just that when I'm in America, I'm a little bit of an oddball. I'm an immigrant, but I don't really think of myself as an immigrant so much. I love Ferndale. I've always said that if I stay in Michigan, I would like to stay in Ferndale because it's awesome. It's great. It's diverse and small enough to run into people you know, but big enough to still have some what do you call it? Anonymity, I guess. 1 year, and I never wanted to stay. I just wanted it to be an adventure. I was 20. Immigrant story, yes, and I'm an immigrant, but it's just my life. It's just